Hey everybody, Seth and Alyce here, and I kind of want to say Happy New Year. I know it's not January 1st, it's not anywhere close to January 1st, but we've got 4 kids, which means this is about as close to New Year as it becomes, right? Because it's the school year. And so Carissa obviously graduated. She's on a new hero's journey, right? Whatever we're calling that right now. But we sent 3 back to school this past week, and I guess this always creates a season for me, I think for us, about like, how do we be the parents that we want to be in the midst of this? And this whole idea of like, these kids are on their own hero's journey. Like they're going through something, and our tendency to be like, we want to fix it. We want to like help them make all the friends. Like, what's your mindset as a mom, as a parent, kind of going into this time of year? Because they're all in new classes and meeting new friends and all the things, right?
Everything's new, and just given the state of the world right now, right? Everything's weird, everything's new. It feels like everything's changing every 7 seconds. But we've shared this book before. I'll share it again. Courage to Grow by Laura Sandifer is one that's had a tremendous impact on us, and just kind of how we've decided to parent and raise them, and just education philosophies. But she tells so many really fun stories in here. And one was around a business fair, and when they started the school, the business fair were kids that were 4 to 10, like going out and selling their products, and they didn't know how it was going to go. Like they're just like, all right, because their underlying belief is that every child is a genius, and if we believe that every child is a genius, in a way, we have to follow their lead a little bit, right? Like it's not so much about telling them what to do or how to do it. It's inherently believing that there is genius in every child. And there's this sentence in here where she's talking about the fair, and parents have a very hard time stepping back when there is a possibility that their children might fail, or even simply be uncomfortable. And that really hit me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, of course. Like anytime I see them like ready to fail, I'm like, oh, well, let me do something about it. And there's a whole other way to help them learn.
It's the metaphor of the butterfly in the cocoon, right? Like Alyce was coaching this week, so I went to like the back to school brunch for a couple of the parents, and even in a school that I think is really progressive in this thought process, and I hope every parent there has read this book. You could still hear a ton of griping, right, of parents that are like, I had to help my son finish this in the last couple of weeks, and we had to help our daughter do this. And you could tell that every one of us as parents was getting our self-esteem a little bit from, in a way, making sure our kids didn't have to go through something that we could have prevented, something bad. And philosophically, I think I go into this time of year thinking, be the best parent you can, equip them the best that you can, but then understand the benefit of them going on their hero's journey in this next season. So,
and allowing them to fail, right? Like we say fail as if it's like, oh my gosh, this is fatal. Like if it's something where they could hurt themselves or hurt somebody else, that's a whole different situation. But I think most of the times we're talking about things like, it doesn't necessarily have the outcome we want, but what's the lesson they might learn if they were to go through this? And allowing them to fail in a safe environment.
Yeah, and that's the cocoon, right? So like the caterpillar in the cocoon, and it's to break out of the cocoon. I mean, any good parent butterfly would like take a little razor blade and slice open the cocoon to make it easier for the baby caterpillar to get out, right? Maybe I would, right? But that doesn't help, right? Because they don't get the muscles unless they break out. And we're in that season right now, right? So if you're watching this, you're a parent, I think you know exactly what we're talking about. It's like, how do you find that fine balance? The metaphor that we would give you is this idea of the hero's journey. And when you consider that your child, like you said, is a genius, and your child is a hero on their hero's journey, and that we play the role now of the guide, right?
We're the guide.
And we're helping to equip them. I think for me, it's probably, I'll end with this, you can get the last word. Resourcefulness always trumps resources, right? And what we really want to do is we want to instill in our kids resourcefulness more than just giving them resources in the form of doing something for them or whatever it might be.
So super simple story of just, one of the things I've always hated about back to school are like all the forms that you fill out, either for school or for like the doctor to get, the records and whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And when I finally said, wait a second, why am I filling out these forms? And I had our 9 and our 12-year-old fill out the forms. And they sat there and they struggled through it, right? They're like, but Mom, you usually, yeah, you know what? It's your doctor's appointment. It's your school. You're going to fill this out. And on the inside, I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, the handwriting's terrible and they're writing too big and it's not fitting in the boxes. I'm like, wait a second, but this is exactly the things that I hear people complain about on the other end. Like they're going to college and they don't know how to do their laundry and they don't know how to fill out the forms. They don't know how to call to make the appointment. We have the opportunity to teach them by having them do it right now. So what is something that as a parent this week that inside you're feeling a little bit like, oh, I'm so mad that I have to do that. And is it something that you could reasonably hand over to your child and have them do it? Because I'm having them do like the Amazon returns now and like calling to make appointments for things or calling to verify appointments. They're the ones doing it. I'm not doing it anymore. And yeah, it feels a little on the inside like, oh, they didn't do it right. They didn't do it my way. They didn't. And if they don't learn it now, when else would they learn?
Yep, I like it. All right, guys. Hope that's helpful. Talk to you soon.